بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والشكر لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to my second book review video. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing the following book, which is titled Al-Imam al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So this work is about the scholarly output and legacy of Imam al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, who has been given the title of Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the leader of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, of Sunni Islam. The three main theological schools within Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah are the Ash'ari, the Maturidiyya, and the Hanabila, or also known as Ahlul Hadith. And the Imams of each one of these schools, or the founding Imams of each one of these schools, are Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari for the Ash'ari, Imam Abu Mansur al-Maturidi for the Maturidiyya, and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal for the Hanabila. So this work is specifically about the founder of the Ash'ari school, or the scholar who laid down the methodology of one of the largest theological schools in Islam, if not the largest theological school in the history of our deen, the Ash'ari. This book is a 4-volume work where 53 scholars around the Muslim world contributed to its compilation and authorship under the guidance of the current Grand Sheikh and Rector of Al-Azhar University, al-Imam Ahmed al-Tayyib. So, as we're going, or what we're going to be doing in this video is looking at the table of contents of each one of the volumes of this work. And we'll see that that many essays were written on a wide range of topics about the scholarly output of this great Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. So let's jump straight into the first volume. So remember that this is a 4-volume work about Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. So when we look at the table of content of the first volume, or before we look at the table of content of the first volume, I would like to give a general idea of the structure of this work. And we're going to see this structure as we go over the table of content of each one of the 4 volumes. So the general structure is that this work has been divided into 7 crucial aspects of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari's legacy. And under each one of these 7 sections, there are subheadings where a scholar out of the 53 scholars contributed in its writing, or like wrote an essay, which is a subheading under one of those 7 central aspects or an axes of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari's and scholarly output. So at the beginning of the first volume, they list the 53 scholars who contributed to this work. Then after that, they jump straight into the first crucial aspect of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, which is titled Al-Mihwar al-Awwal, Al-Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, Hayatuhu wa Mu'allafatuhu. So in this section, in this first central pillar or aspect of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, they look at his life and the works that he authored. So for example, they look at things like his shuyukh and his students, and the reason or the reasons for why Imam al-Ash'ari left the Mu'tazili school and other masail. So that's what we'll find in the first major section or aspect, Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari's life and his works. Then in the second crucial aspect or crucial section, let's call it sections. the second large section of this four-volume work is on modern studies of Imam al-Ash'ari. So, for example, al-Ash'ari في الدراسات العربية الحديثة. The Imam al-Ash'ari as portrayed in modern Arabic studies, or مصادر معرفة أبي الحسن الأشعري في أوروبا حتى بداية القرن التاسع عشر. That the references and the sources for knowing about Imam al-Ash'ari, or how Imam al-Ash'ari was known in Europe until the beginning of the 19th century, and other um, subheadings that are related to modern studies on the legacy of Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. So that's what we get in the first volume. Then in the second volume, the second volume starts off with the third major section, which looks at the methodology of Imam al-Ash'ari. So we find subheadings like أثر الإمام أبي الحسن الأشعري في منهج التفكير الإسلامي قديما وحديثا. The effect or the impact Imam al-Ash'ari had in the thinking in Islamic thought, both in the classical period and modern times. So basically, the impact that Imam al-Ash'ari has had in Islamic thinking throughout Islamic history. Or another subheading is Imam al-Ash'ari's usul methodology, al-manhajiyya al-usuliyya. Or another subheading is Imam al-Ash'ari's view on the intellect and on revelation, بين العقل والنقل في منهج الإمام الأشعري. Then the second volume moves on into transitions into the fourth major section, which looks at now Imam al-Ash'ari's views or theological views, عقيدة الإمام الأشعري وآراؤه الكلامية. So now the third major section looked at his methodology. Now they're looking at his views, or in other words, the conclusions of his methodology. What did he believe based on his methodology? So one subheading is about Imam al-Ash'ari's view on the ambiguous ayat and ahadith al-mutashabihat. Or for example, the creed of Imam al-Ash'ari in his book titled Al-Ibana. And Al-Ibana is one book which has stirred a lot of talk and discussion in theological circles, questioning Imam al-Ash'ari's aqidah, yeah. So it's important to look into this work, or the book Al-Ibana. What did Imam al-Ash'ari believe in Al-Ibana? Did he believe what one group of people are saying that he believed? Did he transition into a third phase in his theological thinking? Yes. Now the third volume starts off with the fifth major aspect of Imam al-Ash'ari, which is wasatiyatul Imam al-Ash'ari, moderation in Imam al-Ash'ari's thinking. So in this section, they present how Imam al-Ash'ari rejected extremism and that he was a man who sought for the middle path, being moderate. So the first subheading gives him the title of, or describes him as Imam al-Wasatiyya, the Imam of moderation. Well, another subheading is وسطية الإمام الأشعري في الإنسانيات بين الجبر والتفويض. So looking at how Imam al-Ash'ari was and held a moderate view on matters related to the human being, between like rejecting determinism and consignment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, in the third volume also has or also gets into the sixth and seventh major aspects of Imam al-Ash'ari or Imam al-Ash'ari's legacy. And the sixth major aspect is about describing or looking at Imam al-Ash'ari as a philosopher. So one subheading is al-Imam al-Ash'ari فيلسوفا قراءة جديدة. That seeing Imam al-Ash'ari as a philosopher and through a new reading of his works or through a new reading and inquiry into his legacy, or a subheading which was authored by Sheikh Saeed Fawda titled بين الفكر الفلسفي والفكر الكلامي, between philosophical thinking and theological thinking. And the seventh major aspect is Imam al-Ash'ari وواقعنا المعاصر. So Imam al-Ash'ari and how he is relevant in our contemporary times, and how is Imam al-Ash'ari relevant to the modern world or to the setting that we find ourselves as Muslims today. So it looks at that. That's what is looked at in the seventh major section. And then the last volume, the volume of this work, the fourth volume, it looks at things like Imam al-Ash'ari's methodology of tafsir, or the principles that he adhered to in doing tafsir of the Quran. Or another subheading is Imam al-Ash'ari's political philosophy, فقه السياسة الشرعية عند الإمام الأشعري. Yes, and then there's also a few other subheadings such as Imam al-Ash'ari's epistemology, أصول نظرية العلم عند الإمام الأشعري. So this is a wonderful work for any student of the Ash'ari madhab, or for any person who wants to have a deeper look or a deeper dive into the legacy and scholarly output of this great Imam, this Imam of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, al-Imam al-Hasan al-Ash'ari. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.